What if the way you've approached intimacy your entire life is silently stealing your connection, your confidence, and even your health as you age? Picture this. A man named Thomas, 68, sitting alone in his dimly lit living room, staring at the television but not really watching. He's healthy, active, a retired teacher with a quick laugh and a sharp mind. But tonight, his thoughts are elsewhere. He's thinking about the woman he's been seeing, Sarah, and the moment last week when he tried to be intimate with her for the first time in years. His body didn't respond the way he expected. He froze, mumbled an excuse, and left her apartment feeling like a stranger in his own skin. Thomas isn't alone. Thousands of men over 60 face this quiet crisis, believing their best years are behind them, unaware that the real problem isn't age, it's what they were never taught. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Carter, a men's health specialist and intimacy counselor with over 25 years of experience. I've sat across from men like Thomas, fathers, husbands, leaders who thought their intimacy was gone forever, only to discover that with the right knowledge, they could rebuild connection, rediscover pleasure, and protect their health in ways they never imagined. Aging doesn't mean the end of intimacy, but it does mean playing by new rules. Today, I'm going to share 5 profound truths that older men wish they'd known sooner, truths that could have saved their relationships, their confidence, and in some cases, their lives. These aren't just tips, they're lifelines for men who want to live fully, love deeply, and age with strength. If this resonates with you, stay with me. If you're ready to take the first step, type 1 in the comments below to let me know you're here. If this isn't for you, type 0. Let's dive into the first truth, because it's the one that breaks more hearts than any other. Imagine you're 30 again. Intimacy was effortless, spontaneous, like a spark that ignited without warning. You didn't need to plan or prepare. Desire and ability were one and the same. For many men, that spontaneity wasn't just excitement, it was proof of their vitality, their manhood. But fast forward to your 60s, and the game has changed. Your body doesn't respond like it used to, and the expectation that it should sets you up for disappointment. This is the first truth. Spontaneity after 60 is a myth, and clinging to it is a trap. Intimacy now requires intention, communication, and preparation, not because you're less of a man, but because you're wiser. Take Robert, a 71-year-old widower I met in my clinic. After losing his wife of 40 years, he started dating again. He met Linda, a vibrant woman who made him feel alive. One evening, they were close, and Robert, caught in the moment, tried to be intimate without preparation. His body didn't cooperate. He laughed it off, but inside, he was shattered. He avoided Linda for weeks, convinced he was past his prime. When he finally came to me, he said, "I thought it would just happen, like it always did." Robert's story is common. Men walk into my office, heads bowed, carrying the weight of a single failed moment. They're not broken, they're just playing by outdated rules. The truth is, intimacy after 60 thrives on planning. It's about setting the stage physically, emotionally, and mentally. This means checking your medications, managing stress, and talking openly with your partner. It's about creating a space where connection can flourish without pressure. Planning doesn't kill the magic. It preserves it. It tells your partner, "This matters to me." It tells your body, "I'm ready." And it tells your heart, "I'm still here." Ignoring this shift has consequences. I've seen men push their bodies too hard, chasing that spontaneous spark, only to end up in the ER with chest pain or worse. One patient, George, 66, mixed an enhancement pill with his heart medication without consulting me. He collapsed during intimacy, leaving his partner terrified and his confidence in tatters. The stakes are high, but the solution is simple. Embrace intention. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. This brings us to a deeper layer, one that men often overlook until it's too late. Intimacy isn't just about your body, it's a mirror reflecting your overall health. Let's talk about Michael, a 65-year-old contractor, fit and full of energy. He came to me because he was struggling to maintain an erection. He brushed it off as just getting old, but I saw a red flag. I ordered tests, and we found a 70% blockage in his coronary artery. Michael was stunned. I thought it was just a bedroom problem, he said. This is the second truth. Your erection is a window into your heart health. It's not just about sex, it's about survival. Erections depend on blood flow, and the arteries in the penis are smaller than those in the heart. When they start to clog, it's an early warning that your heart and brain may be at risk. Erectile dysfunction isn't just an inconvenience, it's a cardiovascular signal. Ignoring it is like ignoring smoke before a fire. I've seen men dismiss these changes, popping over-the-counter pills or blaming stress, only to face heart attacks or strokes months later. One patient, Henry, 69, ignored his symptoms for a year. He collapsed during a morning walk, leaving his wife to pick up the pieces. The emotional toll is just as brutal. When a man feels his body failing, it erodes his confidence, his sense of self. He withdraws, avoids touch, and builds walls between himself and his partner. The loneliness that follows is as dangerous as any heart condition. But here's the good news. Listening to your body can change everything. A simple doctor's visit, blood pressure checks, cholesterol tests, lifestyle adjustments can catch problems early. I've had patients in their 70s turn back the clock, not just in the bedroom but in their energy, their mood, their life. Michael, after surgery and lifestyle changes, told me he felt like he was 50 again. He wasn't just intimate with his wife, he was present, alive, connected. Your body is talking to you. The question is, are you listening? Now, let's go deeper, because intimacy isn't just physical, it's emotional. Picture John, 73, a retired mechanic with hands like leather and a heart that's seen too much loss. His wife passed 3 years ago, and since then, he's lived in silence. He came to me not for physical issues, but because he felt empty. He said, I don't miss sex. I miss feeling close to someone. This is the third truth. Intimacy after 60 is emotional medicine, and without it, you're starving your soul. Physical touch, whether it's a partner's hand on yours or the warmth of a hug, releases oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. These chemicals don't just feel good. They lower stress, boost immunity, and protect your heart. When you lose that connection, your health suffers. I've seen men like John slide into depression, insomnia, even high blood pressure. Not because of age, but because they're emotionally isolated. John told me he hadn't been touched in years, not a handshake, not a pat on the back. He was surviving. He wasn't living. The tragedy is, many men believe vulnerability is weakness. They convince themselves that needing closeness is for the young, that silence is strength. So they shut down. They avoid affection, even when it's offered. They build walls, not just with partners, but with friends, family, themselves. But here's what that silence costs. Higher cortisol, weaker immunity, and a brain that ages faster from loneliness. I've seen men in their 60s look a decade older, not because of wrinkles, but because their eyes are hollow, their spirits dimmed by isolation. But it's not too late. Connection is a choice, and it starts with courage. For John, it began with a conversation. I encouraged him to join a community group, to talk to his daughter, to let himself feel. 6 months later, he was dating again, not for sex, but for laughter, for shared moments. He told me, I didn't realize how much I needed to be seen. Whether it's with a partner, a friend, or even yourself through self-acceptance, emotional intimacy is as vital as any pill. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. This leads us to a hidden danger, one that creeps into men's lives when they feel disconnected. Let's talk about David, 70, a former salesman with a quick wit and a secret. For years, he'd turned to pornography when his marriage grew distant. It started as a curiosity, a way to feel something. But over time, it became a habit, then a crutch. When he came to me, he hadn't been intimate with his wife in 5 years. She doesn't excite me anymore, he said, ashamed. This is the fourth truth. Pornography and unrealistic expectations are silently destroying confidence and connection. Porn offers instant gratification, perfect bodies, endless variety, no emotional effort, but it rewires your brain. Dopamine pathways shift, making real intimacy feel dull. David admitted he couldn't get aroused without a screen. His wife's touch, her warmth, her imperfections, they couldn't compete with the fantasy. Over time, he grew resentful, then distant. She stopped reaching for him, and their marriage became a quiet battlefield. The cost isn't just emotional. Porn can cause delayed arousal, erectile dysfunction, even loss of desire. I've seen men spiral into shame, believing they're broken, when really, they've trained their brains to crave something fake. The damage goes deeper. Porn teaches you to expect novelty without vulnerability, pleasure without presence. It strips away the messy, human beauty of real connection. David told me he felt empty after every session, asking himself, why isn't this enough? He thought it was age, but it was addiction to a lie. I've seen marriages crumble, not from affairs but from digital disconnection. Men grow distant from their bodies, their partners, their sense of self. There's a way back. It starts with honesty, acknowledging the habit, seeking support, and rediscovering real touch. David worked with a therapist, talked to his wife, and slowly rebuilt their bond. It wasn't easy, but he told me, feel like I'm waking up. Now, we come to the final truth, the one that can turn a moment of pride into a tragedy. Picture Frank, 74, a retired firefighter with a larger-than-life personality. He'd started dating a woman who made him feel young. One night, after a great date, he felt invincible. I've still got it, he thought, and pushed himself into intimacy without pacing, without care. He collapsed, gasping, his heart racing. Paramedics saved him, but the damage was done not just to his body, but to his spirit. This is the fifth truth. The most dangerous time to have sex is when you feel you have something to prove. Older men often carry a fear that they're no longer desirable, no longer strong. When a moment of confidence hits a compliment, a new romance, they want to prove they're still the man they were at 30. They skip medications, ignore warning signs, and treat intimacy like a performance. But sex after 60 is a full-body event. Your heart rate climbs, your blood pressure spikes, your body works hard. Without preparation, it's a risk. I've seen men like Frank end up in hospitals, their pride replaced by regret. Worse, I've counseled widows who lost husbands to heart attacks during intimacy, deaths that could have been prevented with caution. The mistake isn't desire, it's ego. Intimacy isn't about proving you're young, it's about being present. Slowing down isn't defeat, it's respect for your body. Frank learned this the hard way. After his scare, he worked with me to pace himself, checking his heart, communicating with his partner, focusing on connection over performance. He told me, I don't need to be a hero, I just want to be here. That's the power of presence. It's not about how fast or how long. It's about showing up, heart and soul. So where does this leave you? Maybe you see yourself in Thomas, Robert, Michael, John, David, or Frank. Maybe you felt the sting of a failed moment, the weight of silence, the fear that your best years are gone. But here's the truth. They're not. You're still here, and your capacity for love, connection, and vitality is still alive. These 5 truths: intention over spontaneity, erections as health signals, intimacy as emotional medicine, the danger of porn, and the risk of proving yourself aren't just warnings. They're invitations to live differently, to age with strength, to love with courage. The hardest part of aging isn't the physical changes. It's the emotional toll of feeling invisible, uncertain, afraid to ask for help. Too many men believe they're alone, that their struggles are shameful. But you're not alone. Your body isn't betraying you. It's evolving. And with understanding, you can reclaim control not just of your intimacy, but of your life. Talk to your partner. See your doctor. Open the conversation. Stop believing the lie that this chapter is over. It's just beginning. If this stirred something in you, if it made you reflect or hope, don't walk away unchanged. Type 1 in the comments to let me know you're here, ready to grow. Subscribe and hit the bell for more honest conversations like this. You deserve more than silence. You deserve a life of connection, strength, and heart. Take the first step today. The rest will follow.